CTV News with Sarah Fremart.
We will get through this, we will learn from this, but right now it's a time to come together, as Canadians always do.
The country is in mourning after 9 people died in a school shooting in northeastern British Columbia. Thanks for joining us. The nation in shock after the worst mass school shooting in our country in more than 3 decades. It happened in the northern British Columbia town of Tumbler Ridge around 1:20 p.m. local time on Tuesday. RCMP say 9 people were killed, including the suspect and their mother and sibling. CTV's Andrew Johnson is in Tumbler Ridge tonight with more.
A heartbreaking symbol of a tight-knit community in mourning.
This is a deeply distressing incident.
Shortly after 1:20 local time Tuesday, an alert was sent out to residents warning an active shooter may be in the community. The RCMP say they rushed to Tumbler Ridge Secondary School, where at least 25 people were found injured. 6 others, a 39-year-old female educator, 3 female 12-year-old students, and 2 male students ages 12 and 13 were found dead inside the school of just 160 students.
Families are just mourning in their own way. Everybody has their own way of expressing remorse and grief, and we give them their comfort zone.
Police say the suspect, who was found at the school dead of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound, was 18-year-old Jesse Van Rootselaar, a resident of Tumbler Ridge. The suspect's 39-year-old mother, Jennifer Strang, and 11-year-old stepbrother, Emmett, were found dead at the suspect's home.
Well, we don't have an idea yet as to motive. And again, recognizing we're still less than 24 hours into this incident, it is something that we are certainly passionately pursuing. But it would be too early to speculate on motive.
Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Tumbler Ridge, BC.
Flags are at half-mast right across the country, including here in Barrie at City Hall. Bradford, New Tecumseth, Springwater and Severn Townships are also lowering their flags along with Parliament Hill. Now, the tragedy from British Columbia is felt right across the country. And after a couple of recent incidents at our local schools, we're looking at how school boards communicate with families and students when threats of safety happen and how they prepare for potential threats. Let's get right to CTV's Luke Simard. He joins us live tonight with more on this. Luke.
Well, Sarah, traumatic events can happen anywhere in the community at any time, at a mall, in a parking lot, or at school. We spoke to local school boards today on what they are doing to communicate amidst a tragedy more than 3,000 kilometers away. Dr. Beth McKeag has the tools and resources to assist students when they need it most.
Some are in the group form. We have more targeted individual work with students, and certainly lots of consultation to educators throughout the system all around how to support students' well-being and mental health.
Both the Catholic and public school boards have similar protocols when it comes to student safety, including practicing school lockdowns 3 times in a school year.
Gets students to feel a level of comfort when doing those events, so that when they actually do happen, it's more of an automatic reaction than it's something new and out of the blue. So we take those practices very seriously, and those occur each year.
School boards also use email to keep parents informed at all times.
We really try and update when we know things to be as factual and up-to-date as possible. We don't want to throw out misinformation to parents. So there may be a bit of a lag time, but it would be the information that we know at best at that time.
After tragic and traumatic events, schools will then have counselors on site for students and educators to use.
We facilitate ways that students can gather with familiar people and giving the adults resources, but also bring in mental health workers to support if there are individual students struggling.
And if a student does need support,
any student of any age shows or says, "I'm really struggling," our approach is to really wrap around them, and that really does depend on who the student is, their age, what they're struggling with, who's currently supporting them, and it's always a collaboration of who's already supportive and can we support the supporters.
With reminders for parents on the importance of having open discussions with your children at home.
It's really important as parents that we actually ask questions and get really curious about what are you thinking, what did you hear, what is it like to hear that? In any way that our kids bring us information, we want to help hear their questions and concerns, validate all the feelings of.
Now, both school boards emphasizing that students and educators have a lot of access to tools and resources should they need some assistance, and sending a clear message that it is always okay to ask for help. Reporting live, I'm Luke, Simard, and Sarah. We'll send it back to you.
Okay, thanks for that, Luke. And we'll be speaking further with a mental health professional a little later in the newscast about how to start those tough conversations with our children and young people. Now, in other news tonight, police are investigating after a late-night fire in Ramadan destroyed a home and caused more than $1 million in damages. Fire crews were called to a home at Bass Lake Side Road at Line 3 just before midnight. The house was a new build and was unoccupied at the time of the fire. Now, officials tell CTV News high winds at the time caused concerns with nearby homes, but crews were able to keep the fire to the one home. Damage is estimated at $1.5 million. The OPP Major Crime Unit and Forensic Identification Services are investigating. The Ontario Fire Marshal's Office has also been contacted. Now, this marks the second time a fire has broken out in this development. Last month, the fire started in a finished home and then spread to another still under construction. The fire marshal was also called in to investigate that fire. The Barrie Police Chief is speaking out in support of a province-wide investigation into police corruption in all departments. In a statement, Chief Rich Johnston says, "Our relationship with the community is built on trust. Activities that seek to strengthen police legitimacy through police accountability are welcomed by the Barrie Police Service. This inspection offers a valuable chance for us to showcase our commitment to ethical policing and continuous improvement." He goes on to say he welcomes any recommendations that further help and enhance the operations. Now, this statement comes after the Inspector General of Policing for the province announced he will be conducting an independent investigation into police corruption throughout Ontario. Last week, York Regional Police announced the results of an investigation into 8 Toronto police officers that were charged, 7 active and 1 retired. Some of the allegations include accessing confidential information to facilitate a murder plot against a correctional facility manager, taking bribes and identity theft. Those cases are now before the courts. All right, let's lighten things up, shall we? It's a sure sign that summer will eventually arrive. We now know who will be headlining Friday night at Boots and Hearts this summer. It's a Grammy-nominated group that will be coming to Canada's largest annual country music and camping festival. I won't keep you in suspense. Here's CTV's Rob Cooper.
How do you get bigger than what you got already? I'm like, oh, you done did it. You done did it.
The big announcement was first announced live on the air on Pure Country 106 this morning with Jason McCoy.
Boots and Hearts 2026, bigger and better than ever.
We've announced the Jonas Brothers as our headliner for Boots and Hearts this summer on Friday. Russell Dickerson will be playing before the Jonas Brothers. We just love when these artists collaborate.
The Jonas Brothers have been added to the star-studded lineup for this summer's 15th annual Boots and Hearts Festival. The group will perform Friday, August 7th. Country music fans will have 3 days this summer to take in the festival. And while the Jonas Brothers may surprise some people, their addition won't shock true country music fans.
Country music is a real melting pot of genres right now. We've seen it with rock, we've seen it with R&B, pop, and Boots and Hearts has done such a good job of that. So I think it's going to be really cool to see fans of the Jonas Brothers get to come out and maybe fall in love with artists like Russell Dickerson.
Dickerson, the Chicks, Jesse Murph, and Rascal Flatts will also be headlining the event at Burroughs Creek in Ormadonte.
It's the perfect way to kick off the weekend and start some really great fun times. It's so Boots life.
Boots and Hearts will mark its 15th season this summer at Burroughs Creek. It's a 3-day event that attracts tens of thousands of country music lovers. Rob Cooper, CTV News, Barrie.
Casey Colby, it means that the cowboy hat, it'll soon need to be dusted off and brought out.
Yeah, I'm going to brush up on my Joe Bro material, too. Remember Joe Bro and Hannah Montana? It was a great episode. You remember that episode?
No, I'm far too old for that. That must have been something your children were watching. I'm sorry, Casey.
It's available on YouTube. Anyway, let's talk about the weather. Is that available? Well, it's available for everyone, everywhere. A few flurries coming down right now. Winds are picking up. Let's talk about first weather. There it is. Brought to you by our friends at Presler Injury Law. Call 1-800-JUSTICE. -4, Sarah. Yeah, temperature's starting to drop again. Winds are picking up out of the northwest, 17 kilometers an hour. Gusts as high as about 30 a little later on. The temperature as we speak outside your door looks like -5 in Collingwood, -5 in Gravenhurst, -4 in Parry Sound, -4 in Newmarket, -3 in Elliston, and -3 in Mount Forest. There it is. This radar satellite image is showing us that snow. Is it still some lake effect? Not much lake effect snow. We're looking at a lot of ice on the Great Lakes and certainly Georgian Bay. Of course, Superior isn't totally frozen. Neither is all of Huron or Michigan, but enough to certainly put a quell on the damper on some of the ice or some of the snow rather, that we have received. And coming up in just a few minutes' time, Sarah, 3 degrees. I see 3 degrees. It's coming our way. Coming up, I'll let you know when it arrives. And it's not arriving with the Joe Bros, but maybe it should.
Hopefully,
back inside.
Hopefully sooner than that. We'll hold you to it. Thanks, Case. The new Heated Rivalry series has taken the streaming world by storm. Released on Crave and HBO Max in late November, part of the love story between two professional hockey players was filmed at a cottage in Muskoka. Here's CTV's Mike Lang with how the cottage could bring a boost to Muskoka tourism and how you might have a chance to rent it out.
This is the Barlokin Cottage, known as The Cottage from the Heated Rivalry Season 1 finale, where lovers Shane and Ilya take their romance to the next level.
You're not jealous, are you? No. Ilya, I'm gay.
In the series, the cottage is in a remote location outside of Montreal. But in reality, the cottage is situated right off Lake Muskoka between Hudson's Point and Hemlock Point.
It was designed by an amazing architect and they decided to film there. And I think something that caught everyone's attention is people didn't realize worldwide that Muskoka has these beautiful places to stay.
With 2,500 square feet, floor-to-ceiling glass walls, and wide-open lake views, the Barlokin's shift from seclusion to the spotlight has helped reinforce Muskoka as a top summer destination. Discover Muskoka highlighting it in their Come to the Cottage campaign with billboards across the GTA, offering a special chance to visit the property.
We're anticipating over 15 million impressions, and we've got a lot of great buzz. A lot of TikTokers have been sharing them, and we've heard a lot of rumblings of people seeing them.
Expected to inspire another cottage booking rush for this year.
It has spurred a lot of web traffic to our site, as far as we're seeing 25% increase in traffic from outside of Canada, as well as inside of Canada, Europe, China, etc.
In terms of actually renting the Barlokin,
the cottage is privately owned. We're hoping that it might be able to come for rent, potentially, just even a little bit throughout the summer. But if people are interested in Muskoka, the good thing is we really have hundreds of cottages people can rent if they can't get their hands on that one.
Whether it becomes available for rent remains to be determined, but Muskoka Tourism says that decision will be made in the coming weeks. Mike Lang, CTV News.
The rough numbers are in, and the emergency repairs needed at Innisfil's Stroud Arena are going to be pricey. Town Council offering an update today, stating issues that have indefinitely closed the ice pad and banquet hall within the Stroud Innisfil Community Centre and Arena building will cost more than $1 million. The town's operations director adding more issues could very well be discovered during the repairs, driving that price tag up. And now to an unexpected turn of events inside a Midland courtroom, where the trial of a Waverly man accused of sex crimes was abruptly ended. CTV's Mike Arcelides reports on what happened, but a warning that details in this report may be disturbing and triggering to some viewers.
8 months after his trial got underway, accused of historical sex crimes against young girls, 51-year-old Robert Moroziak had his charges stayed in a Midland courtroom. Justice Philip John Brissett made the ruling after the defense argued Moroziak's right to a speedy trial in the Ontario Court of Justice was violated, resulting in a staying of charges now 20 months since Moroziak was arrested in June of 2024. The Waverly man faced 9 criminal counts, including sexual assault, sexual interference, invitation to sexual touching, and forcible confinement, accused by 2 young women who say they were children between 5 and 12 years of age when Moroziak sexually violated them about a decade ago. Moroziak had been out on bail since his arrest. His trial, which started in June of 2025 and continued through September, was supposed to hear closing arguments Friday in Midland. Instead, the proceedings ended abruptly. Both complainants testified Moroziak fondled them, saying Moroziak described the touching as tickling. One of the complainants testified telling her parents what happened about 9 years ago. but they decided not to get the criminal justice system involved, and she only came forward to police after speaking with a counselor. The second complainant took the witness stand, telling the court Mroziuk made comments about her breast size and touched her breasts. She testified Mroziuk kissed her on the lips and exposed his genitals to her. Responding to the staying of charges, Mroziuk's lawyer Andrew Knott telling CTV News, everyone has the right to be tried within a reasonable time, adding the, quote, threshold has been breached to be tried within a reasonable time, so the only recourse in this instance for institutional complacency is a stay. So this was the right outcome, end quote. Section 11B under the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms requires a trial in the Ontario Court of Justice to be held within 18 months. The defense reiterating Robert Mroziuk maintains his innocence. Mike Arsledy, CTV News, Barrie.
A rally was held outside the York Region Children's Aid Society in Newmarket this afternoon. YRCAS workers and union leaders are calling for the release of a report into workplace culture following allegations of harassment and racism by management. Signed letters were sent to the board of directors calling for the report to be made public. The Ontario Public Service Employees Union says a separate review conducted 6 years ago included recommendations to change the culture, but those haven't been implemented, and they say workers are now worse off. Canada has picked up another medal at the Winter Games not long ago in Italy, this time on the ice for figure skating. Piper Gillies and Paul Poirier, we recognize that duo. They captured the bronze medal in ice dance figure skating. It's Canada's first medal in figure skating at these games, and Canada's first in ice dancing since Tessa Virtue and Scott Moir won gold at the 2018 Pyeongchang Games. Now with more on the other action today, let's go to CTV's Scott Hurst.
Reigning Olympic silver medalist in the men's speed skating 1,000-meter, Laurent Dubreuil was one of 3 Canadians racing for a medal in the event at Milano Cortina. Dubreuil, however, failed to reach the podium this time around, finishing 8th overall. A thrilling finish in the women's freestyle moguls event. Saskatchewan's Maya Schwinghammer reaching the top 8 medal round, putting down a final run score of 77.61. She was just off the podium, however, 5th in her first Olympic Games. Another Olympic final is booked for Elizabeth Hosking in snowboard halfpipe. The Quebec athlete in her 3rd Olympic Games was 8th in qualifying today. The 12-rider final takes place on Thursday. 4 Canadians were taking part in the men's Super G. Jack Crawford, the top athlete wearing the maple leaf, placing 16th in the alpine skiing event, about a second and a half behind the winner. Medals were on the line in biathlon. The top Canadian was 23-year-old Calgarian Pascal Parody, finishing in 24th place. 4-player curling is now underway. Team Brad Jacobs opening up their Milano Cortina experience with a win over Germany. Men's hockey is now officially underway. Canada's first game is tomorrow against Czechia. The women will wrap up their preliminary round in a game tomorrow as well against Finland. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
Why don't we move right into the medal count? Norway leads the way with 7 gold, followed by US, Italy, and Switzerland with 4. Canada, we're in 13th place with a silver and 3 bronze medals. Still to come, from adding your personal touch of cultural diversity to enlightening the public around issues found in everyday fields of work, there's a lot to take in at the McLaren Arts Centre. Plus, cars that show people care, how this local woman is using her lived experience to make sure that others feel the love. You're watching CTV News Barrie. Thanks for staying with us. When the days are short and the snow seemingly endless, it can be isolating for many people, but these cards are here to help.
I think it's really important to show people that you don't need a big impact to do something. It can be small and meaningful, and you can still touch people's lives.
Alicia McLeod lives with endometriosis and other chronic illnesses that make it difficult to get out, and she worried she wasn't alone. That's what inspired this grassroots card-based kindness project, and the goal to brighten the lives of those that are given the cards at local hospices and hospitals.
Well, I, as a 32-year-old woman, was feeling alone and isolated dealing with my health issues, and I thought to myself, if I'm feeling this way, others must be feeling this way too. This creative campaign meets people where they are. It helps people feel a little bit less alone and puts a smile on someone's face who could use it.
One of the things here at Sober Sips that we try to do is bring community together, and we love that she's reaching out to the community and bringing such positivity.
McLeod estimates she's already helped create more than 400 of the cards of care, and anyone who wants to get involved can reach out to her through Resilient Roots. And of course, perfectly planned ahead of Valentine's Day and Random Acts of Kindness Day, which is on February 17th. Now, February, all month long, is Black History Month, and the Making Change organization is all about educating, enlightening, and showcasing the many benefits of a harmonious existence. This 600 multicolored tile exhibit found at the McLaren Art Center in Barrie is something that you're invited to add to. You can come and add your own cultural diversity tile. That's on February 22nd. You can do that. But before that, you're invited to come and listen and speak to a dynamic panel that is presenting the truths of a changing cultural society in the workplace and the challenges that are present specifically in the healthcare workplace.
But now we've got staff that are of all different racialized backgrounds, and looking at the wonderful positive benefits that can bring to a workplace. But change can be difficult. Change can be hard to process. How is this affecting me? What does this mean for my workplace and my way of living? And it can cause a lot of stress.
Stress that hopefully can be alleviated by attending. The Hidden Cost of Care, Racism in Healthcare will be held on February 12th at the McLaren Art Center. How about this? Feeling the love from the local business behind People for Paws.
On average, we have about 60 companies, businesses within Barrie that help us bring this kind of stuff to life.
That's John from McNeil Construction and the man behind the fundraising initiative making the drop-off this morning. It started here with a room full of donations of pet food and supplies that were collected from other Barrie businesses, headed to 3 local animal shelters, including the Barrie SPCA.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Happy to help, and that's why we do it. So, animal lover, my wife as well, animal lover, and most of the people that support this and support McNeil are very much aligned with a love for animals, and we have a love for communities. So it made sense.
There's a ton of the wet food in here, so those are all cans.
As an agency, we don't receive any government funding, so when we get donations like this from the community, it's a huge impact for us. This truly goes such a long way.
And it's been years. This isn't the first time that John and his team at McNeil Construction have collected donations for People for Paws, and they added that they're always looking for others to join. A group of Muslims in Innisfil are getting ready for one of the most important times of the year for the faith.
Ramadan is a month where we rejuvenate our faith.
Muslims around the world fast for an entire month, reflecting and praying. Now, it isn't Ramadan for another week, but this early celebration by the Ahmadiyya Muslim Association of Innisfil invites members of the community to learn about the cultural tradition.
Anything that Innisfil can do to build relationships with all faiths and communities to learn from each other makes us a more welcoming community, makes us a more inclusive community. Just tonight, I was thrilled that the Ahmadiyya Muslim Association also recognized Black History Month. So that means the world to us.
They'll be able to join food with us and break bread with us. That will, help them to, give them more time to mingle with us, and we will be able to learn more about them, and they'll be able to learn more about us.
Ramadan begins at sundown next Tuesday with daytime fasting and other religious observances through March 19th. If you are looking to keep caught up on local events, all of that is posted each and every day to our website. A reminder, although many of you know probably by heart, ctvnews.ca/Barrie, or scan that QR code on the screen. Still to come, the success of the series shot here in Simcoe County continues to resonate on and off the ice. More on the local faces found in the Netflix show Finding Her Edge. But first, let's head outside. Cases in the Garden.
Environment Canada has put out a special weather statement for blowing snow and freezing drizzle risk right across our region. Predominantly, though, Grey Bruce, Simcoe County, Dufferin, Innisfil, and parts of York region. Be careful out there. And our weather watcher artiste, well, have a look. Naya says, I'm already dreaming of March break, building snowmen, saying hello to wildlife, and maybe doing a little skiing. You're watching CTV News Barrie.
Picture this, brought to you by Bounce 1041 and Pure Country 106.
Show us how you are feeling the love, or perhaps who or what you feel love towards. That is our Picture This theme, and as always, the email address picturethis@ctv.ca. Let's get outside to Casey Colby, because he's been talking about this hat all day, but keeping me in suspense. You say this is a vintage.
It is a vintage hat. It's from 1976. Can you see it says Canada on it?
Yes, I see that now, and it's got that classic 70s build to it, you know?
The hat or me? Oh, yes, the hat, yes.
There's another double entendre.
Yeah, yes, there is. Yes, it's from the Games. The Games, 1976. The Games, Canada. Aha, winter. Yes, that's what we're dealing with right now. Winter in Canada. It's no game, is it? Or is it? Well, maybe for some. Let's talk about the forecast and what we can... what kind of games we can have in the winter. As far as our temperatures go, let's play with -10 when you factor in the wind chill in Parry Sound. You're a winner. -11 in Newmarket. Still -7 in Alliston, so not quite as chilly as anywhere else. Yeah, wow, -7. Yeah, it's the hot spot in our region, to say the least. Beautiful Alliston, Ontario, gorgeous any time of year. The almanac for today, 0 and -3. That's the high, that's the low. And 14 degrees in 2024. That's 2 years ago, if my math serves me correct. And -31.7 in 1914. That is a few years ago. Sunrise, sunset, how about 10 hours and 20 minutes of daylight? Adam, roll that forecast radar, would you, for me? Oh, look at that. Lots of cloud cover, and then... Why, look it. Is that a peak of sunshine? Is it a peak of sunshine? It might be a peak of sunshine. Mainly cloudy skies. Let's tell the whole story, though. Southern tip of Georgian Bay, Lake Simcoe. Overnight temperatures, -8, -9. There's a few flurries and a little risk of some freezing. Actually, it's not a little risk. It is just a risk of some freezing drizzle off and on. We got flurries coming down right now, but as the evening progresses, that could change. -5, -6, -7 for tomorrow. Mainly cloudy skies. 30% chance of flurries in the morning. And then slowly things start to clear during the course of the day. Moments of sunshine? I'm going to say yes. Moments of sunshine. Orangeville, Bradford, Georgina, Newmarket, Richmond Hill, -8, -9. Some snow certainly in the Orangeville area. Cloudy skies everywhere else. And only a 40% chance of some flurries coming down. And then tomorrow, -4, -2, cloudy, slight chance of some snow in the morning, and then clearing skies as the day progresses. Up to Parry Sound, Huntsville, Bracebridge, Gravenhurst, Haliburton, where it's -16 with the wind chill this evening. Mainly cloudy skies, about a 40% chance of some flurry action. And then for tomorrow, well, clearing skies, -3, -4, -5. That's a nice day. That's a really nice winter day. That is tonight and tomorrow. Now time for the Diamond and Diamond Lures 5-day extended forecast, and it looks like this starting in Simcoe County this evening. Friday, a 40% chance of flurry activity, a 40% chance, they're saying. And then Saturday arrives, Valentine's Day. It looks like sun and cloud and a high -1, 1 degree above the freezing mark on Sunday. Cloudy skies, and Family Day, 3 degrees. I see it 3 degrees above the above the freezing mark. 5-day extended forecast, York region. Friday looks like a 40% chance of flurry activity under cloudy skies. Saturday, Valentine's Day, kisses, chocolates, flowers, all that and more because it's sun and cloud and it's lovely and 0 and 1 degree on the Sunday. Cloudy skies and Family Day. 3 degrees, another 3 and Family Day. Take a look. This is the 5-day extended forecast, Muskoka, Barrie Sound, Halliburton. 40% chance of flurry activity all the way around our region, and a high of -1, -11 overnight. And then Saturday arrives, the big day, the day of love, shall we say, sun and cloud, and a high of -1, 1 degree on the Sunday, and 2 degrees, not quite 3 degrees, and a slight chance of some flurry activity. That would be Family Day. I'm Casey, and this would be Sarah.
That's a new one. Some more special moments for local figure skaters that took part in a Netflix series shot right here in Simcoe County.
What was the best part?
I know you liked the dessert table, but I just like meeting all the rest of the cast. It was a really nice experience overall.
Doesn't get any sweeter than that. That's 9-year-old Emmett, loving the dessert table there, and his 12-year-old sister, Kira, from Mariposa Skating Club. They were part of the Netflix series Finding Her Edge. There's a shot there with their dad, and although they had a small role, that wasn't the case for some of the older athletes who were skating doubles and even had some of their past routines choreographed by some familiar local coaches brought onto the small screen.
What we did was we took some bits of my free dance from last year, which was choreographed by Caitlin Weaver and Mitchell Islam. And we just picked some bits out of it and threw them together to make a smaller program that was easier for the person that I was skating with to learn as well.
There's a lot of new choreography that goes into it. A lot of really cool stuff on set. You know, there's like stuff I've never skated on before. We skated on outdoor rinks, skated at night. It was really cool, and I mean, I can see myself on screen, but it's not my face, but I can tell it's me, and it's really cool to see my talent out there.
Some of the filming was done at the Wasaga Stars Arena, so there's one last viewing party tomorrow night. That's Thursday from 4 till 6 p.m., 7 to 9 p.m. It's free for all, and there's popcorn, if that seals the deal for you. Now, let's talk about the weekend. Never too early to get excited. For that, we'll go to Bounce 104 Morning Show host. Oh, it's Steph Siddell tonight with your weekend event listings. Here you are.
Hi, I'm Steph Seidel with Bounce Radio, and this is your weekend event listing for Pure Country 106 and Bounce 104.1. Kicking things off, the Braystone Winter Classic is happening on Saturday at the Braystone Farm. This 3-on-3 pond hockey tournament in support of RVH is still accepting players, 3 games guaranteed. Can't play but want to support? Check out their online silent auction at braystonewinterclassic.ca/auction. Bundle up and head out for Snowman Mania. It's returning to Wasaga Beach. 4 days of family fun with live entertainment, illuminated Valentine's-inspired swings, cozy fire pits with Muskoka chairs, s'mores, and marshmallow roasting stations, even a live DJ, an igloo building activity for kids, and skating at Oakview Woods Park. There's also a snowman building and decorating contest on Nancy Island. And don't forget to warm up at the chili cook-off on Saturday. Local businesses and community groups are competing for the title, and they need your vote. Public transit is free. Learn more at wasagabeach.com/snowmanmania. And Penetang Machine, get ready. Winterama is back February 14th and 15th for its 78th year, Ontario's longest-running winter carnival. Kick things off with the Rotary Polar Plunge on Saturday, then head back on Sunday for the always fun cardboard toboggan races starting at 10 a.m. Celebrate community, tradition, and pure winter fun. Visit winterama.ca for all the details. And last, let's head to Gravenhurst for another great winter event. The Gravenhurst Winter Carnival is Friday to Sunday. This family-friendly event offers exciting activities like the Demo Derby, Skokie's birthday party, cardboard box races, and snow sculptures. Attendees can enjoy food trucks, live entertainment, and unique games that bring the community together. Find out more at gravenhurst.ca/gravenhurst-winter-carnival. And those are your weekend events for Bounce 104.1 and Pure Country 106.
Okay, after the break, we will go back to our top story and starting tough conversations. Grief is being felt right across the country after 9 people died in a school shooting. We'll be joined by the Center for Mental Health and Addiction to discuss how to best speak to young people about such a tragedy. Stay with us. Recapping our top stories, the Jonas Brothers are coming to Burrells Creek this morning. Pier Country 106 revealed the group will headline the 15th annual Boots and Hearts Festival Friday night lineup. Russell Dickerson, the Chicks, Jesse Murph, and Rascal Flatts will also take the stage. 8 months after 51-year-old Robert Moroziak's trial began, charges for historical sex crimes against young girls have been stayed. The judge ruling his right to a speedy trial had been violated. Moroziak was arrested 20 months ago. The charter requires a verdict within 18 months. And RCMP have confirmed 9 people are dead, including the shooter in the northern BC community of Tumbler Ridge after that mass shooting. The suspect has been identified as 18-year-old Jesse Van Rootselaar, who died from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. And the Prime Minister speaking out about the terrible tragedy, what's being called one of the worst mass shootings in Canadian history. Now, this prompts some very difficult conversations, especially with children. Joining us now from the Centre for Addiction and Mental Health is the Chief Medical Officer for the Suicide Crisis Helpline, Dr. Alison Crawford. Dr. Crawford, thank you for making the time. Let's start here tonight with how people even begin to explain something like this unimaginable tragedy to a young person.
Yes, well, first, I think we're all really reeling and responding to the event with shock. And it's very devastating, particularly for the families and communities involved for Tumbler Ridge. So I think we all feel that. And of course, children and youth are also going to have responses to that. It's important to create space for connecting with the children and youth in our lives. And some of that might involve conversation. But just our presence, taking care of our own mental health so that we can be present in a calm, supportive way, recognizing that children may be distressed, and also being, you asked about how do we talk about it, I think being guided by their questions. So we can often start, especially with youth, asking them what they might have seen or heard, what they might be aware of, asking them if they have any questions, and really being guided to give simple answers to those questions, and making sure, kind of having an eye on the media that they are consuming. Young children should not be seeing any media footage of that. And we also have to recognize that for older youth, that media can be very distressing. So that can be a focus of conversation as well.
In your experience, what might a question be that a child brings forward?
Well, I mean, I think children often, they can have a lot of empathy and be worried about those involved. They can also worry about their own safety and want reassurance that the people in their lives are going to be there. And that's one reason why conversation is important, but so is keeping up their regular activities and structure and being available to them so that it reassures them that they have stability and support in their own lives.
We now know that the suspect died from a self-inflicted gunshot. So how do we speak to our children about something like suicide?
That's a very good example, because I would immediately have concern that children and youth are going to be exposed to that through media. And hopefully, media and reporters are very aware of safe reporting guidelines, and any details that are provided can be extremely distressing to people. So I wouldn't be sharing those details with children and youth, but of course, if they have questions, I would just answer them very simply and focus on their own reactions and their own concerns.
Okay, appreciate your time. I've been speaking with Dr. Alison Crawford, the Chief Medical Officer for the Suicide Crisis Helpline at CAMH. Now, a reminder that hotline 988. Those are the 3 digits. And if you or someone you know could benefit from this conversation, it'll be posted on our website, ctvnews.ca/Barrie. Let's go ahead and turn to business news now. New home construction in the Greater Toronto Area is set to decline for the next 2 years. A recent report from the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation says it's due to higher building costs, weaker demand, and more unsold homes. The report says in Toronto, the slowdown is due to the large inventory of condo units that began construction during the pandemic when interest rates were very low. According to the CMHC, purpose-built rental construction will be the main driver of housing starts in the GTA. Moving right into our markets, the TSX was down 2 points, the Dow was down 66, and the Nasdaq was down 36. And commodities, oil was up, closing at $64.63 a barrel. Gold was up, finishing at $5,098 an ounce. Our dollar down, ending the day at 73.67 cents US. Now, we do have some more sad news to bring you tonight, this time from the world of entertainment. Actor James Van Der Beek has passed away. Van Der Beek was best known for starring as Dawson Leary in the 90s hit Dawson's Creek. I think we all had a little crush there. He revealed he had colorectal cancer back in 2024. Today, his wife shared the news of his death. Van Der Beek had 6 children, 4 daughters and 2 sons. He was 48 years old. We're now getting a look at some of the work that went on behind the scenes for the Super Bowl halftime show. That doesn't look like work to me. My goodness, people are sharing some behind-the-scenes footage of them dressed up as those sugarcane bushes during Bad Bunny's performance. There they are. Okay, now people in the area were able to sign up and actually apply to take part. Applicants had to be between 5'7" and 6'1", so I missed the mark. Hundreds of people participated in a handful of rehearsals before the big day. Still to come, looking to claim that top spot and a ticket to OFSA. The top high school wrestlers in the region were Barrie battling it out. Details next on CTV Barrie.
Hi, we're Martin and Steph
from Bounce 104.1.
And this week on the show, we're giving away tickets to see Paul Simon live in concert.
So make sure you're listening weekdays from 5:30 to 10 for your chance.
Time now to take a look at your Wednesday night primetime lineup. The Rookie is at 8 and 9 p.m., followed by Criminal Minds at 10 and CTV News Barrie at 11. Some of the top high school wrestlers across Simcoe County were in Barrie today, looking for a chance to go to the provincial championships. Oof. Bear Creek hosted the Georgian Bay Secondary School Association Championships. Around 140 athletes took part today, with 2 wrestlers from each weight class getting a chance to go to OFSA.
It's tough. Like, you get thrown on your back and you get out of the ring. Like, it's tough to have to come back and get back into the mat. So I definitely think it's one of the best sports that way because it teaches resiliency.
I love the crowd. I love the energy. It really brings people together. And as my last year, I'm really going to miss this atmosphere. And this is something that I'm very passionate about.
I feel like wrestling gives you a good community. It gives you brothers instead of something like basketball. It gives you teammates. With wrestling, you got to get a lot closer. You get to build your self-confidence, build the confidence of the people around you.
Love that. How well put. OFSAs will be held on March 3rd and 4th at the Peterborough Memorial Centre. The Barrie Colts are being rewarded for their recent hot streak that included them winning 3 games in 3 days last weekend.
Right back in come the Colts, and it's Bodwin across, scores!
The Colts now sit 7th in the country in the latest Canadian Hockey League rankings. This is the 3rd time in 4 weeks the team has climbed the rankings. Barrie has gone 16-1-1 in their past 18 games. They'll be back on the ice tomorrow night when they host the Kingston Frontenacs. Casey, I have been raving all day about yesterday's men's short program figure skating. The guy that won, his name's Ilya Melinin. More importantly, he's known as the Quad God. Okay, in his long program, which he won worlds with, he lands 7 quad jumps. And last night, he landed something called the quad axel, which broke some type of record. I must have repeated it 3-4 times. So good.
If I tried that, I'd break something else.
You and me both.
Wow.
It's out of this world.
Sounds like it. Sounds like it. Well, let's do a triple Lutz and Saukow into what the forecast will be first thing tomorrow morning. Let's have a little poo. Boo. Get up and go forecast looks like this. -9 in Barrie, and we could be looking at some flurries, the chance thereof. -9 in Newmarket, and according to Environment Canada, a few clouds. And there we go. Gravenhurst looks like -9 and a peak of sunshine for us to enjoy. Sarah, have yourself a wonderful evening and a better tomorrow.
Ilya Melin. I'm still going to work on that for you. Look up the Quad God. It's absolutely phenomenal. I'm Sarah Freemark. Thanks for being here with us tonight. Jack will join you at 11. Take care out there.